Unfortunate response. Day 371. The rest of your shift passes in a blur with the same words going round and round in your head. Operatives working for advanced detonated nuclear explosives. Initial estimates put the death toll in the millions. Did this really just happen? You pull into your driveway, you have no memory of the journey home. The light in the front room is on. Clearly someone else is still awake. The door creaks open into the living room, where you find Sam sitting on the sofa staring at the TV. The screen is off and they're clearly lost in thought. You take a seat beside them and put a reassuring hand on their shoulder. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls and people of all binaries, I'm Wolfgang Wilcox, your friend from the UK, welcoming you back to Not For Broadcast. Sorry, I'm just about to stumble as our protagonist is here with the horrible thing that's been happening in the last couple of episodes. Carrying on. They don't look at you, but they do reach up and take your hand in theirs. Now you're closer, you can see Sam's face more clearly. You see look you've never seen before. Chris and Susie, they're both. Chris too? How? Oh wait, no. Chris is the fucking brother, not my son. But yeah, that's what I was saying. The daughter was travelling around, and the brother's out of the country as well. What do we do? What the hell can we do? The bastards killed Chris and Susie and millions of others, all because of their fucking war, which we never asked for. Where there should be tears, there is only fire. Pure, raw fury. They are manic now. I hate them, Alex. I know you've never been a fan of Advance, but after this, they're monsters. I need to know you understand that. We can't be indifferent. We need to actually do something. Advance was necessary. Fuck no. I don't think it's that simple. The country is suffering, the war has to end. Nothing can justify what they did, and anyone who tries is just as bad as they are. Yes, exactly. It was a fucking blockade. Governments having fucking dick measuring contests trying to cut off supply chains. You don't fucking blow up millions of people, innocent people, with nuclear bombs for that. You get on the fucking phone, you negotiate like adults. Advance are going fucking down. Relief spreads over Sam's face like a wave and they collapse against you, clutching tightly. Clearly this is weighing heavily on them. You're not sure how you even processed it fully yet. At least you'll get through it together. Final farewell, 380. The last week has passed in a blur, a rush of things to do, but all immediately forgotten, your memory clouded by a dark fog. 9 days since the so-called Liberation Night and the beginning of Advance's new future. You weren't the first ones in the church today. You were staggered by a number of people who'd come to mourn with you. Everyone here for the same reason, sharing the same pain, the same sense of loss. It's written all over their faces as much as it will be on yours. You step away from everyone else, needing space to gather your thoughts. Your little girl, Susie, and Chris too, both just gone. Sam has said little since that evening, clearly still in shock. Not that you would blame them, you haven't been much better. Sam appears, silent, and squeezes your hand tightly, an act of desperately seeking comfort, and you squeeze back. Some small piece of you can't help but wonder, are you partly to blame? These scars will not fade quickly. They hadn't even been coffins to bury. Whoa. "7:13, an academic exodus. It's a seemingly ordinary morning, but as you get into work, you find a small crowd gathered in the break room. When you go in to grab your first cup of tea for the day, you can't help but overhear some excited chatter. Did you hear another one's gone missing? What's that bring the total up to now? I should think over 100 by this point. They won't all have been reported or noticed yet. What's going on?" An excited young woman turns to you and begins to explain. "Another professor went missing from Queensview University with all the other disappearances over the last year. Scientists, doctors, researchers." She pulls people alone to a whisper. "It's clearly disrupt targeting people speaking out against them. I even heard advances struggling to prevent further." A deep, familiar voice from behind you interrupts. "What exactly is going on here?" A silence overtakes the room as you all turn in unison towards the doorway. Bozeman clears his voice before continuing. "I've told you before, I don't want to hear about these so-called disappearances. Come on now, people. Advance have been very clear that they're nothing to worry about. Which means that they are not our problem, and unless they start classing cappuccinos as intellectual, I don't think anyone here has anything to worry about. Best get back to work." Bozeman holds up a hand to keep you as everyone else files out of the room. "I know you have a habit of doing what you want, but things are different now. Advance runs the show, and they've made their feelings clear, so now I'm doing the same. Channel 1's official position is that the government has things put in hand, nothing more, nothing less. I trust I won't be hearing talk about this again." He gives you a curt nod before leaving. It seems that for better or worse, public ownership is now in full swing. Nah, they're going down. I'm gonna fucking ruin them. Even if I have to go down with them. 8:72. Spark to light the flames. Oh god. You're surprised to find Sam in bed next to you when you wake up. They must have got in very late night from drinks with the folks from the school. You decide to let them sleep and enjoy a lazy Sunday morning. With the house quiet, you decide to bring some breakfast into the living room to watch some TV while you eat. This is breaking news. Reports are coming in from across the country that large swathes of farmland went up in flames last night as part of what authorities are calling a heinous and well-planned act of terrorism from the group known as Disrupt. You drop your spoon back in the porridge and turn up the volume. Yeah, right, I don't reckon Disrupt are doing this. Why would Disrupt target the farms? It's fucking Advance doing a smear campaign, clearly. In addition to food stores, which government sources have said will put a strain on universal menu centres worldwide, a number of CCO and civic buildings were targeted in last night's attack. According to the Prime Minister's Julie Salisbury, specific prisons and re-education and betterment facilities were raided, and a small selection of problematic and potentially dangerous individuals were forcibly extracted from lawful custody. You hold your breath waiting to hear if anyone got hurt. Unfortunately, it appears the CCOs were ill prepared for an event like this, and Disrupt seemed much more effective and well organised in comparison. It's almost as if it's not actually there. While most of the targeted locations were thankfully empty of people given the lateness of the hour, the betterment centres were fully staffed when they came under attack. 17 CCOs and 4 administrative staff lost their lives as a result of the brutal actions of Disrupt last night. and countless more injured, many seriously and rushed to hospital. A few disrupt members were captured during the conflict, but the vast majority of them seem to have evaded capture so far. More on the story as it develops. You go to turn off the TV. You're interrupted by Charlie walking into the living room, blurry-eyed with a piece of toast. Anything interesting going on? He gestures to the TV. Mutely, you leave the news on as they cycle through the story again. Charlie watches in hushed silence. By the end of the broadcast, they've done the light of fire. Everything's going to be okay, right? I hope so. We'll have to see. He's what, 15 now? He's old enough to understand the world is in a bit of a shitter now. Day 912. Pro-government censoring won't alter the broadcast score, but it will be noticed. Ah, good to know. The Uprising. A year and a half since Liberation Night.
Alex? Are you receiving? Calling. Come in, Alex? Can you hear the signal? Pick up. Alex, are you receiving?
Oh!
Pick up. This is Alan James. The revolution starts tonight, Alex, and we need your help. Throughout this broadcast, we're going to ask you to do things that will directly help with this mass protest. I'll be talking to you regularly tonight, and I'll also be hacking you when I can. Please help get our message out. We're on the verge, Alex. You've always been fair and balanced in your approach to us. With your help, we can tip the balance in our favor. If you play our tape at the second break, that's when we think it will have the most impact. It's on your right.
The fucking navigation's not working. Why? Fuck's sake. Oh, there's a trophy for retrying. Okay.
Starts tonight, Alex, and we need your help. Throughout this broadcast, we're going to ask you to do things that will directly help with this mass protest. I'll be talking to you regularly tonight, and I'll also be hacking you when I can. Please help get our message out. We're on the verge, Alex. You've always been fair and balanced in your approach to us. With your help, we can tip the balance in our favor. If you play our tape at the second break, that's when we think it will have the most impact. It's on your right.
How's it doing?
How should I know? He's a wanted criminal, Colin.
So's my nan, but she never missed her birthday.
His grandmother's on the run, Colin.
Yeah. Armed robbery, resisting arrest, double homicide of the same bloke. You're right.
I hope he's all right, though.
No, he's got his far, and your brother was fine. Going in 10 seconds, everybody. I wonder what they're doing.
Ignoring him, probably.
Not probably, definitely. Going in 5, 4, 3.
Good evening. This is the National Nightly News, broadcasting across the territories. My name is Megan Wolf. Our top stories tonight. Future legend. It's been 40 days since Disrupt conducted multiple attacks across the territories. During the coordinated action, subsequently dubbed the Night of Fire, emergency services were kept busy at the agricultural centres, while a series of covert attacks were carried out freeing political prisoners, including former newsman Jeremy Donaldson. Nothing has been heard from the missing journalist since the violent disrupt attack on his convoy 6 weeks ago. Donaldson was on his way back to Betterment after his notorious court appearance.
Nice.
All of us here at Channel 1 hope that wherever he is now, he's safe. Food, glorious food. With the last of the menu centres opening in territories 5, 8 and 14 today, Advance confirmed that the programme is now in full operation, providing free food for every citizen of the new future. What started as rationing during the 20-week war has blossomed into a social contract that is the envy of the unawakened world. Jack Tractorpants, spokesman for the menu centres, said today that while they can guarantee the contents of every box is nutritious, the actual quality of the meals you cook depends on whether you have a touch of Chef Jordan Rankby or the culinary skills of a professional footballer. If I were a rich man, problems in territories 11, 17 and 22 today as striking bosses attempted to undermine their new economies. With seemingly no awareness of irony, the former CEOs and MDs have come together to form the Wealth Creators Union, with demands including a return to 150% bonuses, private jets and mandatory grovelling zones. Advance have been quick to respond, saying if they would rather quit their cushy jobs to become nurses or teachers, they'll earn significantly more than they used to pay their own workforce. Thus far, no one has taken up the challenge. Some fun now. Signs of ever more resistance to Advance's radical policies today, as popular resistance movement Disrupt extended their reach further across the territories. The organisation's emblem appeared in every major city across the territories last night in a well-coordinated publicity stunt, which has seen them dominate the headlines. Asked about the impressive display earlier today, Disrupt spokesperson Alan James said that the movement was reaching what he described as a critical mass. A poor choice of words given recent history. And endings of sorts tonight for 3 stories we've been reporting on. First tonight, Stroke My Head and Call Me Bishop. Although responsibility proved a commercial failure, mainly due to men's inability to regularly take it, an unforeseen side effect of the drug has seen it relaunched today as Baldylocks. Promising an end to male pattern baldness, the launch has follically challenged men celebrating throughout the territories. Frank Slapbegone, pictured here just 1 hour after
Slapbegone, fucking hell.
His wife, and I quote, will sleep better now that the reading light isn't bouncing off my head and keeping her awake. It's just a body. A picture received today has shed some light on the activities of the academics that were left behind in Dante's tank. The image seems to show that after the simpler scientists were sidelined from salvation, they've eschewed scholarly study in favour of physical intimacy. Their abandoned families insist that they're carrying out complex biological investigations, while this anchor points out that for scientists, they were always bound to experiment. Man on. Footballer Johnny Handsleeves and his new wife Tiffany Lamour proudly announced today that their little team was 1-0 up at full time, which apparently means that they're having a baby. Once beset by tabloid controversy, Johnny seems to be settling well into family life, calling this latest news the ultimate golden goal, if a golden goal also peed on you. All that, plus we'll be taking a trip to Langley Parks for the notice board, as well as getting a sneak peek at the hottest ticket in town. That's all coming up on tonight's National Nightly News.
Come out of your houses, block the traffic, bring the capital to a standstill. I've met so many of you in my travels up and down Territory 1. You always ask the same question: how can I help? And as for when, watch.
Oh, they flipped
But
them for
first,
me, okay.
500 days. A fine leader and a great man. The start of tonight's programme is dedicated to remembering and celebrating the life of Peter Clement. Patrick Bannon is live from Parliament Park.
Oh,
where
Peter
Julius
Clement's
Humphreys will
fucking
be breaking
died.
ground on
Lovely.
what will soon be a memorial
Some good
garden
news at
in his
last.
honour. Patrick.
Listening to that old bitch lying through her teeth about missing that poor bastard.
Patrick.
I don't know what I'm going to do.
We're live.
Because I'm not being funny. Things were better with Peter, weren't they?
Patrick?
They were, and I don't mind saying it. They were, because he held her back. But now there's no stopping her.
Hello, Patrick, we're
Of
live.
course, can't say that, can I, Francis? No, not with public ownership. No, with public ownership, you can't say anything these days. She's lost it, mate. She's completely off the rocker. I heard from an aide that... Hello, Megan, you join me here live from the what? Oh.
Some signal there for a moment. Well, we will be going live to that groundbreaking ceremony just as soon as we can get Patrick back. Meanwhile, let me just say, I think the memorial gardens are going to be gorgeous. I've had a sneak peek at the designs and Alana Marsh has done a fabulous job. Oh, okay, all right, it seems like we have got the signal back. We can now go live to Patrick Bannon in Parliament Park. Patrick.
Thank you, Megan. I'm Patrick Bannon, and we are
That's
indeed
pathetic.
live here. Apologies for the technical difficulties there, but any moment now, Julia Salisbury will step out on stage behind me.
Alex, Bozeman here. The boys in editing have just informed me that the eulogy footage isn't fully cut together yet. You're going to have to do it on the fly. For goodness sake, make sure you make it look good.
Slowly gathering since this afternoon.
This is Alan. You can undermine them here and help us win hearts and minds. Make him look bad, Alex. Really bad.
And it seems
Not that
like
he
the
needed
ceremony is
my
getting
help.
underway. Here is Prime Minister Julia Salisbury, the picture of elegance, to begin her address.
Good evening, fellow teammates and friends. 500 days ago, all of our lives changed irrevocably. Still reeling from the triumphs and tribulations of Liberation Night, another great loss befell the people of these newly united territories. The loss of a leader, a statesman, a dear friend, and a hero. Peter Gordon Clement.
Peter's death at the age of just 62, of course, announced by the team on the 24th of December, just 6 weeks after Liberation Night.
Born to a working-class family on a housing estate in Rotherham, Peter first trained as a carpenter before getting his start on television. First moving and building scenery, and then developing into the personality that we all knew and loved so much.
Just the Job first hit our screens over 25 years ago, running for 11 series, winning multiple awards, and charming audiences up and down the country.
Peter taught us, all of us, not to be content with the way things are, not to accept inequities, no matter how small. But he also taught us what it took to fight them. Courage, integrity, empathy, and hard, bloody graft.
Across a career spanning 3 decades, Peter Clement was known for shows including Wake Up, It's Saturday, and much later, late-night chat show PT, which at its peak drew millions of viewers.
Peter was by no means a saint. Trust me, he once told me he had more regrets than he'd had stolen dinners. He always did have a knack for a turn of phrase. But it speaks to the strength of his character that he chose to share with us his mistakes alongside his achievements, his faults as well as his talents. Peter had the heart to give it all he had for the people of these united territories.
Famous for his potty mouth, it's estimated conservatively that Peter Clement uttered over 1.5 million swear words during his career, though some sources put this figure well in excess of 2 million F-bombs alone.
Gripped by illness as he was in the weeks and months leading up to Liberation Night, he wasn't the man we loved. But his eyes still twinkled with that familiar joy for life, that spark of wit and wisdom of a life lived for others.
Prime Minister Clement, of course, died from apparent liver failure after suffering from the long-term effects of alcohol abuse.
I first met Peter nearly 20 years ago. Moment before I was supposed to give a speech. Not unlike this one, actually. Only I'd spilled coffee all down myself, and I was young, nervous, desperate to be liked, and from behind me I heard, "Christ, Pet, you've either pissed your kecks or sprung a leak, but either way you got a problem." And before I could even say a word, he stripped off his dry trousers and insisted I took them. That was the sort of man that Peter Clement was. Kind, compassionate, sensitive, a brilliant thinker, a natural leader, but mostly a good man. This glorious...
Wait, this is set in 1985?
Thank you, Alex. There'll be another opportunity to steer public perception soon. It's really starting. You'll know when.
His accomplishments, the future he forged, the boundaries he pushed. To me, he'll always be the man in his pants cheering on a stranger at the back of the conference. It is my great honor to give to you the Peter Clement Memorial Garden. Should we see if we can get a countdown going? Everyone with me? 10, 9, 8, 7.
Oh.
Now, Alex, control the message.
Mom, we have to get you to safety. Come with us.
I'm not leaving, I can't. You two, come with me. Don't panic. Help us here, look. We're gonna help you. We need a medic here. Are you hurting me?
Well, stop resisting then. Stop resisting and we'll let you up.
I'm not resisting. Ah! Fuck
What are you doing?
I'm not resisting. You all saw. I'm not resisting. Take brutality.
Turn the camera off. National Night News. We have the right to be here. I said turn the fucking camera off. Who the fuck are you?
Oh, I can't hear you. I can't hear anything.
Yes, medics are coming. You sit down.
No, I can't hear you. I'm from the National Nightly News.
Well, then you can consider this payback. Salisbury's still here. Julius Salisbury! You were guilty of the murder of more than 10 million people. Justice demands a response.
Haven't you done enough? Look around you.
Fucking
This is what your precious freedom looks like, is it? Oh, no.
Take to the streets, the time has come. Stop fire, break windows, draw them out. They can't stop us all. Resist, distract.
Lower your weapons.
Mom?
I said, lower your weapons now. Center goes off rotation whilst you...
Go out now. What are you doing? Come on.
Shut that off. I said turn it off.
Shocking scenes from the capital there, exclusively on the national news from the capital there,
Seen them
exclusively
execute
on the...
unarmed civilians. People like you and me. So why are you watching this? Why are you not in the streets with us tonight? What will it take for you to get up and be a part of this? March on team headquarters, storm the building, demand elections, demand answers. Be what you were born to be, the once and future free.
Don't go away. We'll be back after this. Does anyone know if everyone's safe for the crew?
Thank you, Alex. From all of us, you're doing great.
It's becoming a weekly event.
No, it's different tonight. This is the big one.
Great. There's a revolution happening outside and we're off to Stanley fucking Park.
That's journalism, apparently.
Can we get set for the next sequence?
A+. Excellent.
We got throws to put in your hallway, to put in your stallway, to put in your doorway. What do we got?
Oh, doorways.
No, thrones!
Thrones.
Thrones! We've got all sorts of crazy stuff to bling your experience. You want it in gold? We've got it in gold. We've got gold-plated strawberries, gold-plated bikes, gold-plated cars, gold-plated helicopter, gold-plated jet planes. We've got gold-plated gold! We gold-plate it, we melt it back down, we gold-plate it again. Gold! Gold! Gold!
Alex, during this next section, a cameraman working in the newsroom who's one of us is going to get a coded location out. We don't know yet which camera he's on, but if we find out, I'll let you know. Just keep your eyes out for the fist and try and keep it on the air for at least 5 seconds. Our operatives will do the rest.
Rightio.
Megan, do you want your makeup artist, Craig?
No.
What?
No.
10 seconds, everybody.
Sorry, Craig.
Okay, we are going in 5, 4, 3.
Welcome back to the National Nightly News with me, Megan Wolfe. Very shortly, we'll be heading on over to the final episode of what has quickly become a hugely successful feature, The Notice Board. But before we do, let's chat with Philippa Radon. Tell me, why do you think the public love The Notice Board so much?
It's real. There, I said it. It connects with people. You know, people look at us and they say, those are real people struggling with real problems.
That's a really interesting point.
Yeah, I mean, I was saying to my PA secretary as I got out the limo, I was saying, it's good for people to see normal, authentic people like them on TV.
People like you.
Yeah, precisely. Unfortunately, then I was interrupted by some dreadful wretch who wanted an autograph, but a swift kicking from security soon put him back in line.
Yes, well, I think it's really good that our screens are filled with such relatable stories. So, The Notice Board is coming to an end after a sensational time at the top. What do you think has made this show so successful?
It's a combination of so many things. My hard work, my talent, my look.
Wow, you really have a lot to thank you for.
Hey. You're welcome.
We just heard. Our man's on camera 4.
I have a real sense of responsibility now. You know, a sense I've been entrusted with something.
Get back to the interview, Alex.
Use that platform for good.
Yeah, I think that's really important, that we should use this platform to do good in the world. I agree.
That's exactly it. So I've decided to help as many.
Excellent work, Alex. That's the location shared. Next, you'll need to give them a go.
Better access to education, or reducing child poverty.
No, by adopting as many as I can get my hands on.
Oh, okay. How many children have you adopted?
Oh, we're well into the double figures now, Megan. I stopped counting in the late 30s.
Goodness, that is a lot of children.
Yeah, once we finish putting them into the guest room, I'll have to put a futon in the laundry cupboard.
Oh, you really are some sort of hero.
Hey, I live a privileged life. What can I say? I mean, any child I can take on is a child rescued from suffering.
Poor children. Were their lives really that bad before?
Oh, they're Northerns, I presume so.
Okay.
Yeah, it's shocking to think, actually, that only 1 in 10,000 children have a celebrity parent.
I'd never thought of it that way before.
Well, I'm doing everything I can to fix those numbers.
What do you think it is about your life that's so desirable then?
Well, it's mainly shame and panic interspersed with expensive bottled water, so actually, if anyone wants to, I'd happily trade.
Now that I can relate to. Right, you better go off and get ready. That was Philippa Radon sharing some thoughts about her lifestyle. I think it's really important to stay grounded and keep everything in perspective. Clearly, not everyone else agrees, but that's enough from me. Let's go now over to Dangly Parks for the final ever episode of The Notice Board.
What a day! First the tea morning, and now to post this notice. I don't know how I managed to cope with it all. Oh wait, perhaps I do. Oh! By St. Barnabas, what on earth is all this?
Freeze, dirtbag!
Oh, Laura, it's you. I thought for a moment you were a knife-wielding mugger or stabber.
No, I'm afraid not. It's just me, a community cohesion officer, responsible for keeping crime at record lows.
Of course. Keep forgetting that thanks to you and your colleagues, violence on our streets is a thing of the past.
What's all this, Vicar?
I know! It's a disgrace. Somebody...
It's time for the go code. Give us 3 boos in a row, Alex. That will start the pencil movement. You might just pull this off. Push forward! 3 boos, Alex.
Careful, Vicar. It looks heavy.
Ha! They don't call me the Right Reverend. Ripped for no reason.
Yes!
It's no good.
It looks like all those crucifix classes were a waste of time.
Perhaps you, a young CCO, would be able to move.
2 for 2. Fantastic.
Looks like all those lifting classes were a waste of time.
It's too heavy, even for me, a strong and capable
You did it, Alex. We're good to go.
to lift this.
Did someone call for the best firefighter in town? Hi-ya!
Well done, Captain Evans. You're so much stronger than us.
Especially me, the weak old man.
It's the least I could do for my community.
No luck catching the little devil then?
Unfortunately not. The ferret struck again last night. When Ray opened the post office this morning, he found that every single stamp had been pre-licked.
My God!
Some people have no decency.
Sadly, if we don't catch him before tomorrow, we may have to cancel the village fete.
Don't worry. We won't let that happen. Will we, Vicar?
No, no, no. Laura, tell me, why do they call him the ferret?
Some say it's because of his sneaky nature. But really it's because whenever he strikes, he always leaves behind the foul stench of urine.
Never fear, officer. We'll catch this pissy nuisance and save the village fate. Or my name's not Captain Danger Evans. The community cohesion team are doing their best, but they simply don't have the smarts to solve this mystery. But I know someone who does. Someone who's about to blow this thing wide open. Me! Blackout!
Ah, it's the morning of the village fete. It's thanks to theatrical convention.
I sure hope everything goes to plan. Oh, look! There's Mrs. Craven setting up her cake stall.
And look, there's the motorcycle display team setting up for a show that will be far too expensive for live television.
I'm going to set up the coconut shy. What are you doing, Vicar?
First, I'm running the tombola. Then, I'll be selling forgiveness for money.
Aren't you judging the jams?
I couldn't possibly.
Well, that sounded like Mrs. Craven. Looks like someone sucked all the jam out of her donuts.
That damn ferret has struck again!
Whatever are we to do?
Although I'm very competent, I have no idea how to solve this case.
I guess we'll just have to cancel the fete.
Hold it right there, ferret.
Me? Have you been drinking from the fire extinguishers again?
Not you, the vicar.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Admit it. You wanted the village fete cancelled so you could have the day off, didn't you?
I already have to work Sundays. I shouldn't have to work 2 days a week.
But But how did you know?
Well, my first clue was the smell.
Yes, I do smell of urine.
Next, I noticed that the vicar's tongue was particularly dry, almost as if he'd been licking thousands and thousands of stamps.
Or perhaps eating Mrs. Craven's baking.
Which brings me on to my third clue. The vicar said that he had no more room. Jam.
Almost as if he'd had his fill.
Precisely.
But you managed to figure it all out from that?
Well, I also found this at the scene.
That proves nothing. No!
Get him out of here, officer!
You did it, Captain. You could say you ferreted him out.
Hey, come on. Let's go and have a party in my massive garden. I am doing well.
Thanks to you, we're all doing well.
So that was it, the final ever episode of the Notice Board, and what a way to end it. Thank you as always to Jeff, Philippa and Tommy. After the break, we'll be both dancing and learning, so don't change that channel. We'll be right back.
That's the ads. Well done, everybody.
Wow! What a brilliant run, eh? After party at my place, eh? Yeah? Hey, I've got a new grill out.
What advert is this, Alex? I don't remember passing it for broadcast. I think you made a mistake there.
I'm an economist and
Hey, you!
You've probably seen me on the news talking about Advance and how progressive their policies are. Well, I was wrong. And I'm here tonight to say I'm sorry and to beg for your forgiveness.
One last push, Alex. We're closing in. One of the guests in the last section is working with us. We'll be asked to censor on our behalf. If you do it right, the final orders will be given. We have 3 chances. Get at least 2 of them right, and we're going to win this thing. It's happening, Alex. Tonight we take it back.
Over the years, my jealousy grew. So when Advance came to power, I didn't think about the damage they would do. I acted selfishly. I was glad to see the rich punished. I didn't see how backwards Advance were. I didn't understand that rather than tearing down the wealth creators, we should have been helping everyone else to take a seat at their table. Under Advance, the country is poorer. It is poorer in ambition. It is poorer in aspiration. We are infantilized by Advance's naive policies. Policies born from absurd, redistributive fantasies.
Sorry, Mum, I'm really not supposed to say.
Are we safe?
Hi, I'm Maddie. Jenny just said to ask if you need any touch up.
Did she? That's my shade, is it?
Yeah.
This is my shade? Dad. I'm sorry. Our only hope. Back to Jenny now. The only hope. Now
Sorry about that, Sarah. Nothing you can tell me. At all, like at all.
They said no one's died, that's all I can say.
10 seconds.
What's wrong with you?
She is in tears.
Ugh.
Going in 5, 4, 3.
Welcome back to the National Nightly News. Later in this segment, we're hoping to be able to go back to Patrick Bannon at the scene of tonight's shocking Disrupt attack. But first, I'm delighted to be joined by the cast of the smash hit musical everyone is talking about. I'll be speaking with the cast in a moment, but first, let's take a look at them in action. Please give a warm National Nightly welcome to the Novaries.
Hello? Doctor? Yes, I see. Thank you for letting me know. I have a decent life. I'm a happy, loving wife. And my job is well paid and fulfilling. I have a husband, John. He's due home soon, won't be long. And I have to tell him something that is absolutely chilling. We share coffee in the morning, and we make love every day. We take time alone together
I'm home.
Oh, darling John.
Oh, dearest John.
There's something very wrong. I've just had a conversation with our doctor, David Wong, so please be seated. This news will make you feel defeated. The scans revealed a lump.
You poor unlucky chump. Is it cancer?
Worse, oh, John. We're having a baby.
How can this be?
Oh, woe is me.
Why has this happened to me? I always wear 2 condoms for the maximum of
Safety in our tiny flat. We built a peaceful habitat. Now our lives are fucked. We're having a baby. Now you can't have any wine at book club.
And there won't be any time for foot rubs.
Now your hair will stink of weed.
And you'll start to disagree.
And forget about that holiday in Territory 3. No more waking up at 10:30. In fact, you're never going to get a good night's sleep again. No more snap decisions to go on to a club. You'll be lucky if you even make it out to the pub. Why can't we be more like our gay and lesbian chums?
The only poo they have to deal with comes from personal bums.
Now when I take a sick day at home,
The parasite won't leave you alone.
I'm supposed to be censoring for you. You're gonna let me know when.
top priority. I look after you, and you look after me. Ain't no trouble and strife. We got a childless life. No one wails and no one walls. No one draws things on the walls.
A happy husband.
A wonderful wife. We got a childless life.
We're having a baby.
We're having a baby. Changing nappies daily. We're having a baby. No more weekends by the coast. Now your kid is uppermost. It's more than a passing craze to have childless days.
We're having a baby.
Food and drink thrown everywhere. Death trap toys at the top of the stairs. Every parent prays to have childless days.
We're having a baby.
No more spas and no more. We're having a baby. 18 years on bills and leaves. Time for a whole new phase.
We're having a baby.
One more thing before the show begins. Have you considered that you might be having twins?
Amazing. The Novaries there, treating us to their opening number from Elegy for a Childless Life, which is currently the hottest ticket in the capital theatre district, and will be touring the territories later this year.
Then come on, you guys.
Come on down, let's go. Don't be shy. Hello.
Hi, Megan. It's an honour to be here.
Oh, really? Are you fans of the show? Yes, used to be. Well, listen, let's get stuck in. Your amazing musical. Now, I mean, not only do you perform this show every single night,
With matinees on Wednesday and Saturday.
right, but you're also the show's creators, am I right?
Well, everyone contributes their ideas, and then some of us went away and did the actual work on the script. But no, it's very much a team effort.
Oh, that's fantastic. How rude of me. I've not introduced any of you. I'll be the one being replaced next. Let's go down the line, shall we?
Hi, I'm Jack.
Jim Blunt. Pleasure to be here.
Jennifer Boram Woodley.
Hello, I'm John Sapley. Used to be in the business professionally.
My name's Jill, with a J.
And I'm Janet. I'm the youngest.
That's incredible. And you were all friends previously. I mean, what a coincidence, right? With your names beginning with a J.
Oh my goodness, guys!
Our names all begin with J.
How have we never noticed that?
Because you haven't typed them out 1,000 times?
You knew? Why didn't you say anything?
I thought we all knew. It's bloody obvious, isn't it? I just thought we were doing a funny thing where we never mentioned it. And I believe as well as being friends, we're also couples. You know, in real life as well as in the show.
Well, not exactly.
I'm not married to him. I'm with Janet.
And I'm with John, you lucky bean.
Jim and I are married.
4 fabulous years.
Well, that must make for some confusion in the rehearsal room.
Well, you should have seen the first draft. Jen decided that Jack would play Jim, I would play Jack, Jen Janet, Jill Jen, Janet Jill.
What about John?
Well, my character was originally just called Mag 1.
It was allegorical.
It was very confusing.
Not for a professional.
After much toing and froing.
And gnashing and wailing.
And gin and tonic.
We decided that we'd just use our own names, which is less truthful.
We're also less likely to go into the wrong dressing rooms.
Oh, God, yeah, that would be very embarrassing, wouldn't it?
Of course, when I first wrote it, we were only meant to run for a few nights at the Mindy Village Hall, but when I registered it with the Department for Culture, it caught the eye of someone high up, and before you could say overnight sensation, we were transferring to the capital.
It's all been a bit of a roller coaster, really. I'm only 19. I'm the youngest.
You really don't have to repeat that.
I had to give up my job as a mortuary technician.
Well, yes, we all had to move to the capital.
I love that job.
It's been a very turbulent time.
So peaceful, no singing. So peaceful.
This piece isn't.
Stand by, Alex. Censor the orange.
It is your sense of the orange, okay.
And why you shouldn't have them. In a way, I guess it is political, with a small p. After all, we are a solid unit, and eagle-eyed audience members will see we nod our heads to advance on stage throughout, and we target the messaging at women aged 22, well, about 35, as they're the most likely to be afflicted by this terrible problem. Terrible problem.
Having children.
You understand, Megan.
You clearly agree.
Wow, this isn't about me.
Of course, we see that there are advantages to a family unit, but eagle-eyed couples watch as the little parasites advance on their lives. And there's no time to play the guitar, get through a book, or watch a movie. They're exhausted, passed out on the couch by 20 to 9, for God's sake.
You're very chatty tonight, dear.
Usually I'm the chatty one. Because
you're the youngest, we know. It's not a badge of honour, Janet.
Janet, please, Jennifer. Oh, well said, John. Thanks, Janet. Got you back.
So could you just tell us what is the play about? What happens in it?
Well, go ahead. It's a tragedy, obviously. Jennifer, myself, and John have their child, and then the story charts the downfall of their hopes and dreams.
And there's lots of singing.
And dancing.
A lot.
My character works at a menu centre for a distribution unit. Eagle-eyed, she sees her friend's rapid advance to a pit of despair. Becoming a target for children's TV advertising at the age of 22, she decides to take drastic action. I can't really say more, though. I probably said too much already.
Let's not spoil the second act for anyone who might come to see it.
Which should be all of you. For too long, we've been told that a life without children is somehow incomplete, that children are a blessing. Well, I've done the research, and they're not. Besides, there's already loads of bastards running around all over the place, so...
We just want people to have the option of a happy, child-free life without stigma. You know, when I was 14, before I had come out, I had an experience with a girl called Julia Jacobs. She was an experiment, I guess, you know, a chance to dip my toes into the...
Fascinating. Well, thank you all so much for coming in tonight. I really hope you keep them dancing in the aisles for many performances to come. The nose is there. And I am pleased to say we can now go back to Patrick Bannon to get the latest from the scene of tonight's horrific events. Patrick, you okay?
Thank you, Megan. This is Patrick Bannon reporting from the scene of tonight's devastating and symbolic attack tonight this evening. An attack which I myself have been found myself caught up in. I'm still a little dazed and a little deaf, Megan. So I hope you'll forgive me if I seem that it's time to speak with the Prime Minister. Mrs. Salisbury, that's you. You're still here. The Prime Minister.
I couldn't leave. Not when there were people that needed help. Any team player would have done the same. I don't deserve praise for being human.
Yes, no accolades here. Or Palisades. Or lemonade. Right. So, is the situation now? Are we safe?
Yes. The security services performed their duties without hesitation, and I would like to assure the public that although there have been some injuries, there were no civilian deaths here this evening.
Oh, that's good news about the civil. Sorry, did you say no deaths?
That's right. No civilian deaths. Just the 4 disrupt terrorists curtailed by law enforcement, who were, as always, so cohesive. If I may, I have a message for your viewers.
Of course, the camera. There's the camera. Speak there on the camera there. Speak there on the camera.
Stay at home tonight.
Where's all that come from?
Do not become another casualty of war. Disrupt have had their moment, but as the dear departed Peter Clements once famously said, it ends today.
Thank you, Prime Minister, for those strong words of strength. Back to the studio. Megan, now in studio with Megan Wolf now.
Patrick Bannon there, bravely reporting from the front line of tonight's horrifying bombing. Maybe you need to get checked out, Patrick. Well, that brings us to the end of tonight's National Nightly News, but before we go,
Victory is in sight, my friends. You have mobilized. You have come together. From our agents at the television networks risking arrest and getting those words to you, to the many hundreds and thousands gathering to invade team headquarters. As I speak, we are turning the tide, and it is time for change. Tonight we topple their regime, and we also silence their mouthpiece, Channel 1. Time to wake up.
From the shadows, and they are not the overwhelming force they would have you believe. The military have been actioned, and well, it's pretty scary out there tonight, so stay at home and stay with Channel 1, because the team has assured this programme that the turbulence will soon be over and we can once again focus our minds on building the new future with equality, fairness and resources for all. My name is Megan Wolf. That's me.
Damn it, Alex. Tonight is the beginning of the fall of advance. Fighter jet, 11 o'clock. Permission to detonate. Permission granted, old friend. We are going to detonate. Look out your window, Alex. See what you helped make happen. She's coming down.
Well, looks like I'm out of the job. Well, that's literally all the time I have for this episode. We'll look at the results and stuff in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Good night out there, whatever you are.